Hello, my YouTube friends. I am Mindy, and it's a nice and sunny summer day. And I thought I'm gonna sit outside and just have the green in my background. So I hope you like it. And I'm just back from a vacation. Well, not just back a few days, but I've been still on a vacation. Anyhow, I'm really happy to be back. I am going to edit this week a video, a vlog, with more of my vacation. So you will see it's coming up on my channel. But today I have a new subject on personality types. So today I want to talk about the match ENFP and ISFJ. Ooh. And this is like a sort of old school video where I just talk to the camera without edition, and I kind of miss that kind of video. So you will see sometimes a mix of videos, sometimes a vlog, sometimes you're going to see that I actually produce it more, I put music on it, and sometimes I just come and sit here. And I'm also thinking of making live streaming with some featuring some people. So I would like to know if you would like to see that on my channel. But now let's get into the subject. So ENFP and ISFJ. And I have made a little board for you. I hope you see it on the right direction and not the other way around, ISFJ. And wow, I just think like, okay, there are two personality types I haven't spoken on my channel. Well, I think there are a little bit more, but a match. So how is the relationship, and what can be also the challenges between these two personality types? And another upcoming video I have is ENFP and INFP, a video that many of you have asked for. So that's also coming up. But okay, let's go into the subject. ISFJ. Actually, I have to say that this video got inspired by an online pen pal I have who just told me today that he is an ISFJ. And I thought it's so interesting because, yeah, we have been talking for a while, friendly, in a friendly way. And I also have one of my best friends who is also an ISFJ. And I have also dated ISFJ. So I know this personality type. So I want to talk about it. SI. SI is the main subject, I was going to say, the main function of the ISFJ, and it's the last function of the ENFP. And that makes that quite a interesting match, because what is kind of a difficulty for the one, it's a strength for the other. And that goes both ways, because the inferior function of the ISFJ is the main function of the ENFP. And you can say this is a problem, but at the same time, it's good. It's really good because they can strengthen each other. Of course, it comes with their challenges, and I'm going to talk about that. But when I think of my relationships or interactions with ISFJs, I really like that they have things under control. Like, the houses are organized, and it's not for them difficult. It's just like how they roll, how they do. They take a cup, they use the cup, they wash the cup, and they put it back in the place, you know. Maybe the ENFP doesn't have the discipline and doesn't come natural to them. It's an inferior function for us. And so I can think of when these two personalities are in a relationship, because for the ISFJ, it's not a burden having to do things around the house, you know, the practical side of things. These will, you know, I think create a natural or nice dynamic in that side, where, you know, one partner takes more leadership in one area, and then you have the other partner taking more leadership in another area, which is like more of a, oh, let's do this tomorrow, ENFP. Let's go out on a picnic. Oh, I would like to, you know, meet this person I haven't seen in a while. What do you think? So it's like the ENFP injects this spontaneity into the life of the ISFJ. And it's not that the ISFJ cannot do a spontaneous thing. They do get sometimes spontaneous. But having someone next to them who, you know, has these ideas and these, you know, things, and they just flow with ideas, there's something nice for the ISFJ. Now, going back to the ISFJ having NE, extroverted intuition, as the inferior function, which is the dominant of the ENFP, when the ISFJ gets into a lot of stress, they cannot use then the primary function, introverted sensing, and what they would do is that they will go to the last function, which is extroverted intuition. And they don't use it in a way that the ENFP uses that. Like the ENFP is just like, okay, I have these ideas and I feel hopeful about the future and I want to do things to reach that, and I have this amount of little ideas to fulfill this big idea, and they just start doing things. The ISFJ would get uh, actually to the point of using extroverted intuition when they are feeling very stressed, and that would mean that they will kind of make or be hopeful about things that are kind of dangerous. So it's like they use extroverted intuition under stress, and but they don't use it in the most optimal way. They would just jump into, oh, now I'm hopeful. Now I want to just believe in the goodness of people. I just want to believe that it's going to turn out well, when all of the evidence that's in front for an ENFP would say, like, don't trust that person, don't do that. Because, that's the strength. The ENFP can see things and connect the dots in a better way. I'm not saying that the ENFPs do never make a bad decision by any means, but that's more or less how it goes with the inferiors. So the ISFJ, when they see that the ENFP actually can navigate extroverted intuition, can use it can be led by their intuition, and then actually in the end, these decisions they make leads them to a good outcome. They start trusting kind of this intuition, even though it's not their own intuition, but they start kind of believing, okay, actually there is it's not always dumb or it's not always stupid to trust your gut feeling or trust that hopefulness you feel, or the big picture you have in your head, because for themselves it's not always optimal when they make a decision based on that. But they look at the ENFP and they start okay, how does this person do? So I think the ENFP actually inspires the ISFJ, sorry, I said INFJ, inspires them to be more intuitive, even though, yes, it's not something that they will do constantly, but maybe they will be they will start feeling okay, how can I do this more proactively? They will loosen up, they will be more okay, I'm being too restrictive, probably because ISFJs are more into routines, it needs to be safe for me, and it has worked for me this way in the past and I want to continue doing it that way. And the ENFP kind of injects into their life more of the spontaneity and this desire inside of them to also do it for themselves, to not be so rigid. And the good part of this pairing is that then introverted sensing is the main function of the ISFJ and it's inferior function of the ENFP. If you haven't watched, I have other videos where I talk about introverted sensing for ENFP and ENTP. Go and check out that video. There I explain in detail how is it like to have an inferior function SI, introverted sensing, and I give examples on all of that. So basically the ISFJ has the full management, kind of they know how to use the function. And the ENFP, when they are under stress, then they go and they use it just in a kind of very low way, the function. So they overstress, they're very can you say they criticize themselves a lot, self-judgmental, so lots of judgment for themselves, and they try to kind of push themselves to be overly organized in a way that doesn't really fit, and it's not even going to help them to accomplish their goals anyways, but they still do it. And so when they see the ISFJ, that the ISFJ does that in a natural way, blah, 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 it also inspires them to have a more organized home. It inspires them to, be more on time with things. And actually, I think that, one another are going to help each other with tasks around their main functions. I do think that extroverted feeling in the ISFJ is something that the ENFP really appreciates, because the ISFJ is just like a super warm, caring person, super protecting partner. It's a helper. They are like sometimes actually too tuned in with the person, with the other person, that I just see them as selfless. Sometimes they can fall into the I forget about myself because of you. Not every ISFJ is like that, but they could fall into that. Healthy ISFJs don't do it, and they are super like giving and caring with everything. They have all of their resources, and this is something that the ENFP would really appreciate. And because this is like something that the ENFP always wants, of course, who doesn't want that, being helped and understood and pampered by someone. And at the same time, introverted feeling, which is the second function of the ENFP, at the same time gives the lesson to the ISFJ of, okay, listen to yourself. What is that you actually want? What is that you really want? The things like kind of values that the ENFP develops, not all of their life, but at some point in their lives they start developing. And the ISFJ, when they look into like how the ENFP moves, like, okay, the ENFP is a campaigner, and they move and they do things because of the deep causes they carry inside. So that's also that kind of inspires the ISFJ. So I just see this nice dynamic between them too. But one side I think is a bit problematic, apart from the inferior functions of both of them, is that the third functions of them, the introverted thinking and extroverted thinking, they can clash just at the same on the same way that happens between ENFP and INFJ. If you haven't checked that video, go and check it out, because there I talk more in detail about this. But there are clashes. The introverted thinking of the ISFJ is a tertiary function, so it's also not that well developed, and they use it a lot. So as you know, sometimes we go from first function to the third function. And actually, I do think that this function makes it lighter than between when this problem happens between an ENFP and an INFJ, because SI kind of makes it softer, I think, because it's more tangible than between introverted intuition and introverted thinking. But okay, back to the subject. I do notice this loop that sometimes these two personalities fall into, like the super nice and loving and caring ISFJ partner is the most helper and loving person of the world, but they are super, I forgot the word in English. Stubborn, that's the word. Super stubborn. Like, this is the truth, and this is what I think, and this is how it works. They don't say it with these words probably, because they're more like, they care more about like the other person. But in the end, it comes through kind of that way. And then the ENFP is like, okay, it makes no sense, and actually the facts are this and that, extroverted thinking, and they kind of collide. And that's one of the challenges, as I think, that they have to look into. So if you are in a relationship with an ISFJ, or you're an ENFP as well in a relationship with them, leave the comments below and tell me your struggles, the things that you are like, that you have faced and that you have overcome, or things that still are a struggle for you, so we can, in the community, have feedback from one another. And the last function I do think is interesting for both of them, because the ISFJ can, because they have the NE as an inferior function, as I said earlier, they can mistake at the beginning, when they don't know the ENFP, as someone who is too hopeful, who is too naive, who is like too wishy-washy and too positive, when there is not much of an evidence, because evidence is important for them, because there needs to be like a past, there needs to be like something that happened, that where it's like backed up and proven, and that's not how the world of ENFP is based, basically. So this can create this dynamic when they don't know each other, or when they are also immature. But And the same happens the other way around, when the ENFP can think that the ISFJ is too much of a control freak. So why do you need to clean so much after yourself? Why do you need to have everything so organized? Why do you need to have all of the books from A to C on the bookshelves? Like all of those things that can irritate one another. But in the end, if they learn, and this is I'm going to wrap it up. If you learn about the differences and you actually take it as, it's actually kind of a gift that I'm receiving from this person who is teaching me something new in my life, I just do think that it can really work really well, this relationship. Like, as I said, one of my best friends is an ISFJ. And we deeply love each other. So I hope this help you, either if you are in a romantic relationship or a friendship, or you are in a family with one another. That's all. Thank you for watching. If you want one-on-one sessions with me, no matter what your personality type is, check the information down below. Donate coffees for my channel. There is a link for your donations because you help me to keep making this work. I pay for softwares, for everything I need for running this channel with your donations and with the work I do here as well, with the coaching and all of that. So thank you for your support. Follow me on Instagram at mindimalist, and see you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.